Hello, thanks for stopping by the MAC weather page for this Friday, February 19th, and a happy 23rd birthday out there to my daughter Sarah. And you can see temperatures across the area mild this morning into 30s. And while we're about 0.3 degrees below normal for the month so far, we'll go into the positive range today with highs climbing well through the 50s, maybe even 60 in some areas. And again, it's going to be a very windy day. We've got wind advisories for all of the MAC area with wind gusts to 40, 50, even possibly a little higher than that miles per hour. So again, not a good day to be out and about. Certainly, it could bring down some small or medium-sized tree limbs. So do be careful out there, and expect that we'll see some scattered power outages as well, as some areas could see gusts locally to 55 miles per hour. Would not be surprised to see a few counties upgraded to a high wind warning, but that may or may not happen, but it wouldn't shock me if that did. Again, a very windy system coming our way. Our record high today is 57 degrees. That could be in jeopardy. Not quite sure if we'll get that warm or not, but certainly the possibility is there. The European model gives us mid to upper 50s across much of the MAC area with low 60s in the far southern part of the state, where the GFS keeps pretty much everybody in the 40s to maybe near 50. I think once again it's out to lunch. Again, you can see across the Great Lakes, 40s now across much of southern Wisconsin and Illinois, even climbing now into the 40s across southwestern, western, lower Michigan. As we look at the next screenshot, if we look back over the last 16 hours, you can see some of the activity, light rain, much of this aloft, but some of it did reach the ground. We had a little bit of sleet here last night, but again, very minor, and that's moving out of the area. You can see the webcam shot this morning from Owasso High School. Note the snow on the ground. That will not be there by tonight. And again, as we expect a very warm day today, you can see the winds got the flags blowing straight out, indicating the strong winds already that are into the area. And you can see how warm the area is off to our west. This is Kansas. Goodland, Kansas had a record high of 88. You can see 90 degrees, 89, 88. So very, very warm day yesterday in Kansas, and that's where a lot of that air is coming up from the south. And you can see on the low-level wind field map, lots of energy circulating into that low pressure in Minnesota that'll be moving off to the northeast. And again, that'll drag the warm front through the area, giving us near record high temperatures today, along with very windy conditions. And you can see on the weather map this morning, that low expected to move from Minnesota into the western UP on its way to the northeast. The warm front coming up through the area on very strong winds. Again, most of the precipitation is going to be closer to the track of the storm, well off to our north. Again, we expect maybe a slight chance of a sprinkle or a shower. But again, it's amazing with this kind of dynamics to have very little precipitation with winds around 50 miles per hour and near record high temperatures in February. You would expect more in the way of precipitation, but this system is progressively moving pretty quick, so it never really had time to tap Gulf moisture. If we look at the forecast map by Saturday morning, that low is off to the northeast. Again, a cold front will sweep through the area, but again, with a zonal flow, nothing in the way of real cold air behind us. In fact, we could get into the low 50s again for Saturday, again under breezy conditions, but certainly not as windy as today and tonight. Again, that wind advisory in effect from 10 a.m. this morning and noon in the eastern part of the state until 10 p.m. tonight. As we look at the Sunday forecast, you can see a low pressure off to the south will be moving to the northeast, and a cold front will be coming in from the north. Could touch off a little bit of light rain or showers and maybe a little bit of a mix, but precipitation amounts looks like they'd be around just a few hundredths of an inch, so very, very little in the way of precipitation. The only possible fly to that would be is if we get a little bit more phasing between these systems, then it would not be possible to see some minor accumulations of snow. But as it stands right now, we think there'll be enough separation there. This system should not really have much of an effect on the Great Lakes, other than bringing us back down into the 40s on Sunday, maybe around 40. And then I think we'll cool down a little bit for early next week. But nothing as far as major cold or storms expected over the next 10 days. Where's winter? Well, it looks like from the Appalachians, from the northern Virginias all the way up into Pennsylvania, New York, New Hampshire, Vermont, up into northern Maine. This is the area that winter's going to continue, and that's where they've had most of the winter this year. Again, quite a bit of more activity expected across those areas. And for us, we remain pretty much high and dry, not only snow, but rain. Very little forest precipitation expected here over the next 10 days for the Great Lakes. And we're gonna need this moisture because we're expecting a pretty warm and dry summer, it looks like. And we'll talk more about that next week. I got an outlet conference. I'll be in Ontario next Wednesday. And then when I come back, I'll be putting my official forecast out on the website for the spring and for the growing season. As far as the next 6 to 10 and 8 to 14 days, near to a little bit below normal temperatures. We're going to be pretty well dry across the Great Lakes back to the west. Again, all the action mainly across the eastern states. And as we get into the 8 to 14 day outlook, again, even dry there. Looks like we're going to continue to be near normal. But again, once this warm shot comes through, I think we're going to get more cold air as we get in to March for at least the first 15 days, and then we could flip quite warm once we get into the mid or end of March. Thanks for stopping by and have a great day, a great weekend, and 73s to all.